been quite a weird couple of weeks here recently. 2 weeks ago was in the 60s and 70s and shorts and short sleeve weather, and that was that fall spring that I was talking about. This past week was highs in 40s, 50s. It was pretty chilly out, but yeah. Other than that, my daughter turned 14 here. I'm getting old. So asked her what she wanted to do for her birthday, and she wanted to have a little shopping spree. So we went to Marshalls and Five Below and Ulta and Bed Bath and Beyond and Target, and we ate at Olive Garden. And that's what she wanted to do. So that's what she got. And my debit card's still smoking from that one. But anyways, work's going okay. We're catching up. I actually hired 2 people that should be coming in here soon, so that'll give us a hand getting caught back up and staying on top. So anyways, I got 5 envelopes we're gonna open up on today's Mailbag Monday. So this first envelope comes to me from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Hendersonville, Tennessee sounds familiar. If you know where that's at, let me know. I don't recall it, but it sounds kind of familiar. And let's see what I got from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Looks like a classic motel. Let's see where this motel is at. This is the Skyland Motel. It says here, 30 rooms with a view, 16 new and air-conditioned 6 suites above the noise of the highway overlooking Gatlinburg with a panoramic view of the Great Smokies. Beautiful landscape grounds, private heated pool, pine-paneled units with wall-to-wall carpets, free TV, tile tub and shower baths, and electric heat. Excellent restaurants within 1 block. Now, when I was in Gatlinburg here about 16 years ago, I don't remember seeing this. Doing a little research, I found out why I didn't see it, because it was literally on top of the hill. So the entrance you see here was at the split. I call it the split. I think it was just before the Hillbilly Golf. If you're walking to Hillbilly Golf, here in the background, that is where the main drag, the parkway, is, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was laid out. Now, sometime between 2014 and 2015, this was renamed to become a Roadway Skyland Motel. Roadway was one of those economical motel, hotel type things. I think they're still going, but you don't see them a whole lot anymore. Anyways, yeah, this postcard is probably from the 1960s, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of looking at the cars, they look like 50s, 60s era car. Now, according to Google Maps, this was closed between late 2014 and early 2015, and they're actually doing some construction, and it looks like they're building another hotel resort type thing up on the hill here. So kind of interesting to see what's going to go there. Like I said, I don't remember seeing this, but I got a pretty good deal on it, and that's kind of an interesting little piece of Gatlinburg history. So if you're wondering what cup I have today, how well this is going to show up without me spilling it, it is a Delta Airlines glass mug. I actually got this when I was doing my my most popular YouTube video to date was the Delta Airlines Museum. That's where I got that at. So yeah, kind of cool. Anyways, this next postcard comes to me from Smith Station, Alabama. I haven't heard of Smith Station, Alabama either. It's probably one of those kind of smaller towns. And it must be towards the North Park. It says postmark from Atlanta, Georgia. It's kind of interesting. Don't know. Let's take a look and see what I got here. Blank piece of cardstock. Nope. Alright. So, I like amusement parks. Roller coasters, classic rides. I like the older stuff more than some of the bigger, new, fancier stuff. I like the classic stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, I will ride the new fancy rides, but if I had a choice, I'd go for the classic ones. So when I saw this one, this postcard says 1979 Fun Card, Adventureland Fun Club. Adventureland is a amusement park in Altoona, Iowa. Yeah, it's near Des Moines, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if it says here. Yeah. See if you can read it here. So, yeah, Des Moines, Iowa. So basically what this was is, it looks like you filled this card out and sent it in or kept it with you, and you would get $1 off admission to the amusement park. Now it's kind of funny here. Admission for adults is $8.50. This is in 1979. I looked at last year's rates to get in for adult. It was like $50 or $70, depending on how you bought the tickets, when you bought them. This is pretty interesting. How much has changed over the last 45 years or so, 46 years, whatever it is. But yeah, so the roller coaster that is shown here is actually the Tornado wooden coaster. When the park opened in 1974, there was a tornado that came through either while they were building it or shortly thereafter opening, and it did some damage. So when they built this wooden roller coaster in the late 70s, shortly thereafter the park opened, they called it the Tornado. So kind of a fitting name. This roller coaster is still operating. Not too sure about the log flume, and not too sure what that is there. They're riding in that red bucket looking ride, but yeah. Yeah, when the park opened, they had one roller coaster, and today I think they're up to about 6 or 7 and about 30 or 40 rides. So it's a pretty it's a small regional park, I guess you'd say, that's doing quite well. Never been there, but when I just saw this car, it's pretty interesting. It's not necessarily a postcard, but it's in the shape of a postcard and the size of a postcard. But the admission, the $1 fun club or $1 off fun club, that's kind of intrigued me. Didn't pay a whole lot of money for it, but I think it'd go pretty good with the roller coaster postcard collection. If you've ever been to Adventureland, let me know what you think about it. So this year I'm going to try to make a little stand that I can sit my postcards on while I'm talking about it, instead of me holding them and shaking them around and everything. Yeah, I have nerve damage in my neck, and it messes with the muscles of my arms, and sometimes my arm twitches. I don't have Tourette's or Parkinson's or anything like that, but it's nerve damage that kind of fires off weird. So anyways, I'm just trying to do better. Let's see. This next postcard comes to me from Westchester, Ohio. Got some interesting stamps on this one. 8 cent, a 4 cent, a 10 cent, and 2 25s. I don't know. I guess they charge you postage by weight. I thought it was a letter envelope. You know, cost you 50 cents or whatever it is. I don't know how much it costs to send an envelope out anymore. I haven't sent anything out in quite a while. Now, this postcard I paid for, and paid a little bit for it, more than I would want to, but it was, you know, $6, a little bit above my budget, I guess you say. But when I saw it, I haven't seen one in quite a while, I went ahead and got it. This is the Cyclone at Crystal Beach Park in Ontario, Canada. Now, I got some notes off the screen here, so you may hear me kind of bumbling with my words. I'm reading my notes, because the history of this has always intrigued me. So we're going to go with that. Now, this postcard is marked from August 25th to 1934. So you can tell this is a pretty old roller coaster. Okay, so let's just set it here. And then maybe I'll just do some camera work and zoom in on it while I talk about it here. So the Crystal Beach Cyclone was in Ontario, Canada. It was open from 1926 to 1946. It was considered to be one of the most extreme roller coasters ever built to this date. We're talking over right at 100 years later, it's still considered to be one of the most extreme roller coasters ever built. It was only 96 feet tall with a 90-foot drop, and the whole ride lasted just a little over a minute. max speed was 60 miles an hour, but you hit 4 G's on this ride. Now, there was no flat spots in the whole course of this ride, and some of the angles of the drops and turns was 80 degrees plus. The course of the roller coaster was a figure-8 formation, and it had some spirals and helixes and stuff like that built into as well. This roller coaster was so extreme that there was a nurse's station at the exit for people who needed assistance from fainting, beaten up, bumps and bruises, things like that. Interestingly enough, there was actually 3 of these roller coasters built at the same time by Harry Traver. Now, they were all pretty much the same. They had some minor differences between the two, but they were all dubbed the Terrifying Triplets. And it was a giant cyclone safety coaster design. So this was like a model that he made a couple of, so he could mass produce almost. But they only made 3 of them. Now, the other 2 was the Revere Beach Lightning, which was open from 1927 to 1933. And the Palisades Cyclone, which was open 1927 and 1934. So those roller coasters only lasted about 6 to 7 years, whereas the Crystal Beach Cyclone was open for right at 20 years. Now, there was also a similar one at the Oaks in Portland, Oregon. It was a smaller design due to the space constraints, but it was called the Zip, very similar to what you see here. Now, the Crystal Beach Cyclone was dismantled in 1946 due to maintenance costs and losing money. It got to a point where people would just basically got tired of riding it. The thrill of it was gone. That sort of thing. Great Depression coming about, something like that. Now, some of the wood and steel that was some of the wood and steel that was used to build the Cyclone. They used it to make the Crystal Beach Comet in 1948, right after they dismantled the ride. That ride closed in 1994 and was relocated to a park in, I think it was New York, I believe it was. But anyways, and today there was a private condo neighborhood where this roller coaster once stood. So, yeah, I've seen videos online of this. There's not very many on-ride videos of this, obviously. Being in the 20s and 30s and 40s, there wasn't cameras going on back then. But I have seen some recreations, POVs, point of view of this roller coaster, and it was pretty extreme. Yeah, I'd ride it, but I don't know how many times I would ride it. But yeah, it was pretty extreme, and yeah, so when I saw this online, it was actually postmarked. I could tell it was not a fake. I went ahead and paid up for it. I actually got into a little bidding war with somebody, and I won. So yeah, it'll go good in the in the roller coaster postcard collection. Now, one thing I've kind of noticed, originally when I was doing these postcards, I was doing postcards that I had a really connection with. Let's just say they were hotels that I've stayed at, attractions that I've been to, places that I've seen and gone to, things like that. And now that I'm kind of more, not so much more, but I'm trying to kind of broaden my horizons and look at other places and attractions and roller coasters and amusement parks that I've never been to, but always wanted to go to see, or wish I could have gone and seen, such as that the Crystal Beach Cyclone there. Some of these hotels and motels that I get postcards of, I didn't stay there, but they just kind of intrigued me, and I like kind of going back and look at the history of these places and things like that. So that's why some of this stuff I don't have a physical connection with, but it's more of a, I guess you say, intellectual connection with. So anyways, this next one comes to me from Muncie, Indiana. That's near Indianapolis. I don't know how to get into this card because it is taped. I don't want to ruin what's in there. Okay, so it's on that side. I don't know if this is a big card. I'm going to push it down. Let's see if I can cut it without cutting into it. Wish me luck. Fingers crossed. Boom. Huh. Glad I didn't get crazy with that one. this postcard intrigued me in two ways. Okay, as you can tell, it's not the standard size postcard, and it's not one of those continental postcards. Those, I call them a larger postcard. So let's look at a standard size postcard, and you can tell it's basically a postcard and a half. So that was kind of interesting. That's kind of why it piqued my interest. This is the Ski View Motel that was located in Gatlinburg. And they got a pool, and it shows you the old 1960s, 1970s decor there. Nice little pool there on the hillside. Now, let's take a look. And what it says here about the Ski View Motel, it says we have 30 ultra-modern units, each with tub and shower bath. Each room contains TV, air conditioning, wall-to-wall carpet, electric heat. Fine restaurants nearby. Picnic area. We have a large private temperature-controlled swimming pool for our guests, and each room has a magnificent wow, view of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and the Gatlinburg ski slopes. Now, if you look there, the ogle, that was a ogle. I wonder if they're all related. There's a couple ogles in the Gatlinburg area that own restaurants and hotels and things like that. But yeah, this is actually the Gatlinburg View Motel. I want to say it changed 2019, I believe it was, somewhere in that area. It has very mixed reviews on this motel. Good and bad, good, bad, and ugly. You know, it is what it is. But you can see them there. But looking on Google Maps and everything, you can tell the pool is no longer there. So yeah, it was just kind of interesting how this hotel or motel is on a hillside. So yeah, that's kind of one of the things that just intrigued me, that maybe want to get this car. I'd never stayed there, and don't recall it being there when I was there in Gatlinburg. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those cars that just kind of piqued my interest, and the size and subject matter intrigued me. So if you've ever been here, this motel, let me know what you think about it. And the last envelope comes to me from Almond, Wisconsin. That's near Milwaukee. This one's kind of a, I don't know if the humidity got to it or what, but yeah, let's hope the card's okay in here. I'm not too worried about the value of these cards as far as like a resale type thing, because I don't resell these cards or anything. They're for my own personal enjoyment. Now, this one is pretty near and dear to me. I guess you'd say near. I mean, not so much dear, but it's near. This is the downtown view of Moss Point, Mississippi. This is the town that is just north of my hometown of Pascagoula, Mississippi. This is from the 1960s, even though it's not postmarked. I believe this is from the 1960s. I'm not sure if this was considered Highway 63 or 613 at the time. Sometime late 70s or 80s, I think it was. I'm not sure. There was another highway built on the east side of town that was 4-lane to kind of more or less bypass or for hurricane evacuation type thing, where you kind of get the stress off of downtown Moss Point. Now, sometime after that, this road was widened to a 4-lane with a turning lane in the middle. And I believe a lot of the buildings here on the right-hand side got demolished during that expansion of the highway. So, yeah, as you can tell, it was a pretty busy area at the time. Now, not so much. There's a couple businesses here on the left side going towards the north. We're looking north here. There's a fire department, police station, all the city hall's over here. There's a park. A couple little things. A little river runs right around the back side of it here. Yeah. It's changed since this was taken. I think think Moss Point was incorporated in the early 1900s. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the first and only community in Mississippi to become incorporated without incorporated as a city before being a village or a town. So it was basically in the county for a while, and it all of a sudden just got incorporated. And yeah, the town, it's had the ups and downs, let's just say. There was even talks at one time that the county was going to take it over because there was and is some corruption in the town. Both government people working and the public utilities departments, public works departments. Yeah, there's some shady stuff going on in that town. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. If you live there or live there, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, didn't pay a whole lot of money for this postcard, but yeah, it was pretty interesting to see and get and add to my local postcard collection. Well, that concludes this week's Mailbag Monday. Got some interesting postcards, got some local downtown views, a pretty interesting motel there in Gatlinburg. Got a most extreme roller coaster ever built postcard. That's kind of cool. I like that. Got one that's not so extreme. And got another Gatlinburg motel. I'm gonna try to get away from the Gatlinburg motels the next postcard, Mailbag Monday. I'm gonna keep on doing these Mailbag Mondays every 2 weeks, just so I don't flood my page with that. I want to get some other content going. Was gonna go camping this weekend. Saturday the weather was great, but this Sunday it rained pretty much all morning. Just a constant drizzle or a little bit of rain. It just wasn't very good camping and hiking weather. So those plans got squashed. Hopefully this weekend the weather's looking great for camping, and hopefully if we don't have any plans here at the house, I might get some camping videos and some hiking videos and who knows what else. Kind of depends on the weather and what's going on, but right now the weather is looking pretty good, so fingers crossed. Yeah, if you ever been to the Adventureland, let me know how the roller coasters was there. How was that tornado roller coaster? I would ask if you remember going on the Cyclone, but if you're that old, you're probably not watching my videos, so you know. Yeah, if you remember Moss Point, Mississippi being 2 lanes going through downtown, let me know in the comments below. How was it back then? You know, was it prosperous? Was it a dump? You know, what'd you think about it? If you ever stayed at the Skyland Motel there, or if you know what's going to be at the Skyland property coming up in the future, what they're working on right now, let me know in the comments below. But until then, I appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you next time.